Yo, can you guys hear me? Just let me know quick. Okay, that's great. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's having a good time. Uh, and not focusing on this shit show, to be honest. Funny market, but yeah, we'll go with that. And yeah, let's. I'm doing great, Moodog. Hope you're doing well too. Uh, hey Mario, hey Dr. Master, Blur, Rahim. Hope everyone's doing well. I have 72 questions for you. Okay, go on. You quickly. Nah, I have literally zero exposure right now, so neither did I buy or sell anything. Yo, Moroccan, how you doing, brother? Let me share the screen too. I feel a bit sad on not being in shorts despite having the plan since yesterday. But to be honest, if I was given another opportunity, I'd probably close again because one thing I usually don't fade is the way stocks ran into all-time highs, right? Uh, but yeah, crypto is just doing things on its own. So yeah, before we move on to market and my thoughts on BTC and market and what to expect, as usual, I'd love to know from you people how your trading has been. What do you think about the market? What do you expect from the market? Right? Anything in general you want to talk about? Feel free to do so. Trading has been shut. Markets doing just fine. Okay. Uh, I don't like Paul. Okay. Had fuels and missed the good plays. Kind of like I felt shit this evening as well. The reason being because the way this push was, I had a feeling that it was exaggerated due to the positive number, CPI number release. That's the reason I took short right after that. But I did feel initially bad on being de-risking my bags and not like I de-risked my bag. That was not I felt bad about, right? Because I had my invalidation of losing 69K, and we are still pretty much trading well below that level. So that wasn't something I was mad about. I was mad about not getting into longs, right? Because even this morning, I mentioned in my corner that we are very close to a run into the flat 4 hour open and a bit higher. I was just waiting for one more sweep down, maybe. But now I don't feel that bad, right? Like, okay, I missed some long opportunities, but probably I would have round tripped it back down. So yeah, seems like it's more of. I think that kind of play. If you remember in the last stream, we talked about when we were trading above 69K that if we do end up losing 69K, it's not that I'd be selling my spot and de risking because I am expecting way lower targets. I'd be selling spot because now that after the fifth attempt of range break, failed fifth attempt of range break, now is pretty much fair to assume that the coming weeks, for a month and two, we just be in a summer range, right? Just chopping around within this 7-8K BTC range. So ends up not being worth it to be holding alts. Yes, I'd definitely be looking for long opportunities. Probably soon, once we probably what I'm looking at is sweep of yesterday's lows if it gives. So not flipping bearish or anything, but I just feel like now it just no longer feels worth it to be holding spot and continuously sticking to your bullish bias. Just load up a bit of your leverage account, trade every day, trade this range in a ranging manner, and that's it. I longed this morning, now short. That's nice. I think like if today you would have completely cut out the noise of macro newses, right? Like I had confluence of both, longing at the bottom, shorting at the top, but I let kind of both of those opportunities go because I was just a bit conflicted due to the macro events. But yeah, I'd agree that it was a perfect range play today if anyone played cutting out the noise. Wow, what a short entry you got, man. Insane. Kudos to you. I sleep and work too many. That makes sense, Mario. Like if this kind of market, right? And you can pretty much relate this price action with the bear market ranges we had, right? And with my experience, these kind of price action you could only be playing if you are able to give your, 10, 15 hours a day of your time into the charts, right? To just get hold of the range and what's happening around and stuff. Trending market is pretty much easy to play as a as a passive trader, right? Where you enter something, it's trending, you check back sometime later, it's up, and you book some profit. If it's not up, you just wait for pullback, then long again. It's easy to be playing trending market, being a passive trader, but in a ranging, you do need to be full time active. So yeah, I could feel where you're coming from. I cut out noise completely, and my trading was better this way. To be honest, yeah, I could agree, but I've done that in the past as well, right? Few times where I've completely let go macro events and get hold of just my trading. A lot of time it has paid me well, but a lot of time it has also went against me, right? Ignoring the macro events and ended up going against me. So this time I just didn't want to take the risk, but um. check bonk for long opportunity maybe. What do you think? Mm, I'm not Pitazo focusing a lot. Like okay, we can look over alts long, but right now I'm more focused on ETH, to be honest. Like this isn't I've been saying since yesterday, the reason of me selling spot was the way we lost 3650 on 3650 on ETH, right? And the more confirmation you could get of a level lost is the second attempt of it to reclaim that level, right? Which was pretty much this evening. And the way we have sold back down doesn't make me really confident on like I get your point. Maybe you're talking about a long scalp, and yes, I'll be looking for a long scalp soon. But overall, let's begin a bit on high time frame thoughts. Um, let's begin with a bit on BTC. BTC plan, pretty much. This is where I spent a week being bullish. Ever since lost, I am risk off now. Obviously, we'll be taking scalps here and there, but I don't think there's reason to be giga bullish unless we see some strength back above these levels on market. This evening was the test on market whether whether this entire move down was what people were talking about as just a pre-macro event de-risking, right? Pre-FOMC, pre-CPI de-risking. This push up was the real test that whether this was just a de-risking or actual market behavior happening, right? And kind of seems like the test has passed by now that, this is where people are actually risk off, not only due to the macro events. Same goes for ETH. This evening was the test on ETH, whether this was just a shake off, whether this was just, pre macro event de-risking and we now continue back higher. But the way we have, this was the previous macro range ETH was in, right? With 3650-ish being our range highs and this being our range lows, and for few days and a week almost, we were consolidating above that, right? And a bullish consolidation above range highs is usually where you see a break higher. The counter argument could be that, okay, this was just a fake out and we trend back higher. But then again, if that was the case, then we should have gotten acceptance this evening up back above, right? For now, this pretty much this kind of price action confirms me of a range coming back into the play, and this is the range I'm talking about, the March 24 range on ETH we had. It doesn't mean we have to go to range lows. I doubt that, to be honest, because if we actually do that, I don't know, man. Like a major going up 30% and Burj Khalifa'ing, like entire move down would be super bearish, man. I don't think so. We do that. That we just go into the range lows, but at least the least you could expect is let's draw a mid range between this range. Okay. What a perfect mid range bounce it was. Yeah. So yeah, kind of a. I think you could expect something like this on ETH for a while before we trend back up. I doubt we get a move into range lows, but regardless, let's play range as a range. This is a range for now to be playing on ETH, mid range being our intraday range lows. What I am looking at is ETH taking out yesterday's lows, or maybe even not taking out, but just like at least a double bottom kind of a thing. Look for longs. Same goes for BTC. I think take out these lows that were left out. Something like this. Enter back at the mid range reclaim, and that would be the play. Right now, I think entering anything without confirmation is a big risk on market, especially in a ranging market. Let things come to you. This is the mid range. This mid range flip is what made me really bullish, where we were pushing on longs for a week almost, for a few weeks almost. Now this is the mid range. I'd give one more try if we go for this yesterday's low sweep. If not, this is like right now whatever I talked about. This was just me not being bearish. The reason of, as I said, me selling spot is not me being bearish, right? The only issue is that I bought short term spot of being, of expecting an all time high break. Now I cannot continue holding spot on maybe some bullish dominance environment where my backs keep on bleeding and BTC is not breaking out, and I'm just stuck in a spot bag that where market just keeps on ranging for a few weeks and maybe even months, right? Because this is technically just start of summer. So usually if you have fifth failed break of range highs and summer still has like 2 months to go, I don't see a reason to be constantly being expecting all time high break unless we flip back 69k, right? So far not bearish, just expecting a ranging choppy conditions for a few weeks, right? Now let's talk about where actually bearish bias comes into play, which would be losing this mid range. If we are to trend, like a sweep or something is okay, and that's where I'd be looking to long. But if after the sweep we are not able to reclaim mid range and we actually trend back below mid range, then there's a lot of set of inefficiencies that makes me think that the we cascade down into range lows, and then into range lows I'd doubt that after like million tests of range lows how sure we could be that the range lows hold this time, right? So for me, still not a bearish scenario, it's just a ranging scenario for me, right? Not bullish, not bearish, take it as a range. Try to long some mid-range deviations, try to look for shorts at range highs deviations. Bearish would be that if we do end up losing 65.5, 66 on higher time frame, that's your runaway signal, to be honest. Like even for long-term investors, I'd say. Usually I don't advise, but personally I would say that if we do end up losing this mid-range, like losing 69k is something where I'd sell my short-term spot, right? Because we didn't break all-time high, fifth break, failed attempt of range highs. That's where I'd be just short-term, risk averse on upside exposure. But if we do end up losing mid-range, that's some higher time frame, long term risk off signal. I doubt we get that, to be honest. But again, just a plan to have. If we do end up losing 65.5, 66, do focus on a bit of de-risking and expect a bit much lower in the coming weeks. Can you put ETH chart again? Okay. Uh, is this the one? These are the three cleanest levels on high time frame you could have on ETH, right? Which is 3650 as range highs, 3450 as mid range, and then 3250 as a range lows. These are the three you should be only concerned on higher time frame playing out. Don't expect alts to start trending hard as soon as ETH ETF starts trading around July. First of all, who told you that like how are you certain that ETF starts trading around July 1st? There is still, like, as far as my knowledge goes, there is no fixed date, and I think b- by everything I've read so far, seems like it would be delayed by a lot, right? July seems a bit too early. Secondly, again, I have told it multiple times. Alt season won't come with ETH or anything, right? Alt season would only come once BTC breaks into all-time highs. So ETH wouldn't start the alt season. It's actually BTC breaking all-time highs is what would start an alt season. Uh, that kids, have you thoughts on dominance? Let's see. Not much, to be honest. I don't like to do my TA or charts on dominance on indexes, but I think you could still expect a push higher on dominance. Maybe something of this sort. But yeah, let's see. Not too sure about dominance, to be honest. Eli said ETH all time. ETH all time. Where do you think dominance stops? Random guess if I have to make on dominance top, probably like around 58ish. But actually, like, there is no way you could like pick a number and say this would be a top, right? I could give you a scenario where I think dominance for top, and that would be that once BTC breaks into all-time high, runs strong for few days or week, establish a new range, maybe around 80k, 90k, 100k, wherever it would be. That's where I expect dominance to finally cool off. Alts to give their final good few weeks and months of alt season. That's where you could expect dominance to top out. I don't think dominance tops out unless BTC makes new all-time highs. Yeah, you'll definitely get some small, short-term reliefs here and there. But overall, like macro top, I don't think we get unless BTC breaks new highs. Stocks selling off today. I haven't seen what stocks did like just now in this BTC dump, but prior to that, stocks were making new all-time highs, man. Yeah, kind of they are still looking pretty strong, you would say. Yeah, they did go down like 0.5% with this BTC nuke, but overall, stocks been going insane. Like, this is the only reason I ended up not holding on to my shorts, but stocks looks insanely strong. So yeah, this is pretty much it that I have on ETH and BTC. Soon looking for long opportunities, but at the same time, I don't think there makes any sense to be expecting range high breaks for now. Take it as a ranging market. Why is everyone so dead, man? Like, market is pretty interesting. Let's see what coins are trending right now. Dent. Weird coins. Peace, bro. It's a moment of silence for all my profits. I round trip today. Uh, mm, doesn't matter, man. You like the good part about ranging market is that you'd continue keep getting constant everyday opportunities of trying your positions again and again. No, you took me wrong, Khan. I didn't say that fifth attempt makes it confirms that we aren't breaking. Failed fifth attempt, right? You missed the failed word. Like the last attempt we got at 72K, that was the fifth attempt, right? And that failed. Yeah. You fell for the WLD trap. I think I have been telling a lot of people to be staying away from AI coins, but every time they come up with some Apple partnership or I don't know whatever, yeah, it just keeps on going down. Doesn't look good to be honest. I don't know. I don't want to fud anyone out of like macro. Maybe this is the bottom ends up deviating here, but for me, unless it reclaims back, doesn't look the best. And I remember there was someone on stream, I think it was the last stream, talking about WLD. Yeah, it was around here, showing strength and, Apple partnership coming and stuff. But my point is, if those partnerships and those, public knowledge, because those partnerships are public knowledge, right? It's not something you know in a secret. So if such public knowledge is showing no bidding or no trending price action prior to that event, how could you be bullish going into that event? Hype is good, but as long as that hype is getting translated into price going up. If price is not going up, that hype actually ends up being bearish. Mudak point is there is a le- I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have a plan before entering, right? And this is one point that I keep on stressing on every single stream, and I think I've talked about million times that always plan and ask yourself questions before entering anything. Did you have any sort of plan or invalidation on your WLD position, or did you just scale in big size without any plan? Because the point is, if you had a plan and it's somehow getting invalidated, I don't even know if you had invalidation or not. There makes no sense. Like for example, so yeah, pretty much you had no plan. Uh, Probably your plan should have been that WLD would go up in spite of all these AI, like at least like this Apple AI collab and stuff like that, right? And it didn't. So seems like your plan is invalidated, no? Or do you want to just bag hold WLD now? So considering that it's invalidated, I'm assuming, right? Maybe you have some other plans, but I'm just assuming that since your plans were that WLD goes up in all this hype and now it's not, and it's invalidated now, why on earth are you not cutting out your positions? Like, for example, yesterday, I wasn't really big ETH, Pepe, and all these positions, right? I was in a similar place where I could just hold on to those positions, and probably I would have been able to get out in a much lesser loss today if I waited. But the point is, my invalidation was pretty much hit, right? I was bullish. I was holding on to my swings as long as 69 and 3600 held on the market. 3600 on ETH and 69 on BTC. It didn't show any strength after the break. I was quick to be out of the market. The point is that if you are not respecting your invalidations, you are then just getting yourself for in the hands of market, which isn't usually a good thing. INJ looking, yeah, I agree. But I also think a lot of INJ strength was due to some of their, new tokenomics announcement today. Maybe someone and people were front running that news or something. Maybe that was the reason on ING strength. But we can have a look again. Is it still showing strength in this nuke? Hmm. I think a good thing to do on INJ is that these are kind of two levels that are crucial for me on INJ, right? One being $30 and the other being 31.2. Right now is kind of in the middle, right? So the either one of the two things I could do is probably this 12-hour closes like this, confirming this demand. So what I could do is set alerts here, set alerts over here, right? Either I long at the retest of demand, not just blindly long because I have just set my alert so that I am able to look at reaction. If at this retest it's showing strength against BTC and market and looking good, you can mark it in with invalidation, with like a tight invalidation below the demand, and ride it towards like at least this should be your first target. If it flips, then wick or something like this off of the target. Let's say if it doesn't give you a retest and is actually really bullish, then at least you wait for this flip, right? Right now it's in the middle of the two pivot levels I have on INJ. HBJ, I cracked an egg and there's two yolks inside. Should I 100x Pepe now? Yeah, 100%. That's the rule. Um, that's the secret rule of every trader. Whenever they are confused, they just crack an egg. If they get two yolks, they just long max long market and their favorite coins. Can you take a look at Pepe? Okay. I think a lot of alts look like this in a way that they are in the middle of two important levels, right? Like for example, we talked about INJ. So here on Pepe, you have this demand and these previous all-time highs resting, and above is the 13, 30-ish level, the range lows kind of levels we had on Pepe, from which is it broke down, right? So e- mm, you could take a bet over here, right? A spot bet or something of a low leverage and hope for a break higher, or do a safer approach where you just wait for 12-hour acceptance above, and if it does end up closing 12-hour and flipping this level on 12-hour, that would be a much higher probability play, right? Because this could very well just be an failed attempt. It does something like this and starts bleeding back down, right? Like so far this wick doesn't look the best, this failed attempt above doesn't look the best. But at the same time, it's still holding this macro trend, still above this previous all-time high and this demand. So I think I feel similar way on most of alts, right? That either this could just be a shake off and all of these start continue trending higher, or else they are actually topped and this rejection sends them to bleed lower. So if I was in your place, I'd go with the second approach where I'd wait for the flip on these coins, right? Like Pepe flipping 1330, which isn't that far, right? Which is like you are just waiting to buy like 4% higher. Same goes for INJ, right? If it actually does end up flipping on 12-hour, this 31.2 previous range lows level, that's a really strong signal, right? On the other hand, if you do end up being aggressive here, there's a possibility that this was just a failed attempt, and it starts bleeding back down, right? So I think I'd give the all these charts maybe a day, right, to just see whether this latest volatile move on them was just a shakeout to trend back higher, or it was actually that failed attempt and starts to bleed down. In these situations, I'll wait for the flip option, because most of the flips aren't that you have to wait too long, right? Like for example, if Pepe ends up flipping like 4% higher, that's a great bullish trigger where you could call this a great looking rounded deviation, enter at the reclaim, and ride pretty much into all-time highs. Same goes for INJ, right? Ends up flipping like 3-4% higher. That's your range lows deviation and the cleanest range low deviation play you could take. How does Rose look? We can have a look on Rose too. And the low leverage for Pepe was around 0.01. Okay. I knife catch 68.8. That isn't knife catching. That's like you just jumped way too early on this move. Like knife catching is like when a good part of nuke is done and you just start knife catching. You just aped at the first red candle on BTC. Khan, why do you interpret everything in a wrong way, right? I didn't say anything bearish, right? I just said expect a good range as long as we are above mid range on BTC. This is kind of a price action. I am like, unless 66 loses, that's where I'd be, clearly and openly bearish. Until then, it's just a range that you need to play for few days or weeks, I assume. This is my bearish scenario where we actually do end up losing the mid range. There was a gap at 67.5, which has been. Which gap are we talking about, Ryan? Okay. People are like, there is 4 5 members just joined the stream and they just want quick answers. Bearish, bullish, just tell us right now so that we listen and just go back to doing our work. Uh, I'm not bearish, man. I'm just waiting for a good long opportunity. That's not being bearish. The bias is that respect it as a range, right? That's why I attempted a short this evening, because it was pretty much around range highs, and this is why I've been patient. This move down because I'm just waiting for at least a little bit more down into like yesterday's lows to try some longs. Can you do Sol chart? I think I need to remove these arrows, man. People will like misinterpret on HBJ calling 59k. Rose and Sol. Okay. What's going on with Rose? Why all of a sudden it has started showing some strength? Hmm. Looks decent, to be honest. One thing I really do like about this is this 12-hour demand that it just create confirmed. I think this might be one of the coins I might long if I get my BTC confirmation. This is the 12-hour demand that was created. We haven't tapped that yet. I think I'll probably set alerts here. I think yeah, 0.125 is a good uh 0.125 down till like 0.121. This 3% range within this 12-hour demand. I think that's where you try anything. But I won't enter blindly or like long right now, because one thing to look out is that it did take out major swing highs, right? And these are the most important swing highs for me because these are sort of swing highs that led to the entire move down. Usually, these swing highs, like the first sweep of such highs, do end up marking like at least like a local top or something range for a while and then run back higher. So, not being aggressive here, but I agreed. It is like one of the better looking charts on the market right now. So, just set some alerts around this demand. If it shows some strength, try along with the Titan validation. Yo, with OG, how you doing, brother? Sir Vanry? Okay. Do you have any future view for AI coins? Um, Short term, I still don't see any interest in AI coins. I've been constantly saying that for I think for month or 2 months now. Um, unless some catalyst come in, I don't see. To be honest, by now most of the narratives, like AI was the first to be faded. Now lately memes have started to do that. Somehow memes do end up being the strongest in these bounces still, but AI is something that people has been fading for a long time now. So short term I don't see anything coming up, but long term obviously there would always be some AI catalysts. Depends on what sort of plan you have on your AI bias. How has the market been treating you? I would say not the best yesterday, because yesterday I ended up closing my ETH swing, which I had been holding for a very long time and was really confident on it. That also made me bet really good size on it. And I ended up closing it yesterday. And in the market nuke, then we bounced today. And I was like, okay, did I got fumbled in the yesterday shake off? But now we nuked back again. So I'm like, okay, fuck this market. It's just a ranging market. There's no point of swinging anything. Just scalp on the extremes and be done for the day. We talked about Rose yesterday or 2 days ago. HBJ. Yeah, I remember. We discussed this chart. And I paid really nice. So that's good. That's good if you people are taking things from the stream and executing on your own. Uh, Look, Mog 15-minute reclaim. Okay. Yeah. Now we'll do Mog and then Vanry. I think I usually Muza play Mog along with Pepe because it's literally like Pepe beta after its initial leg. So if like Pepe ends up showing strength again and more importantly ends up um reclaiming these previous range lows around like 0.133, uh like Pepe starts doing something like this, that's where instead of chasing Pepe, I'll just like take a good size Mog long because that's where you get a higher percentage return on your position. Imagine if this made people super bearish and we end up running back into like 72Ks from here. That would be super funny, man. For now, I think a good jokes apart, I think a good playbook to have after like such what you would call Burj Khalifa rejections, right? Where you have a strong push up and then in next few hours we retrace the entire move, right? That's the typical Burj Khalifa pattern. And a good way to play these is that if they have to mark a bottom, it's not after the first leg down, right? Usually, what you wait for is that you mark the lows that it made after this rejection, then wait for the sweep of those lows at least. So something like this, I would say. Like this you could call it as a dead cat bounce to something like this, curl back down, and this is where I'd be interested in longs. And this is where I think you could target at least like this supplier sitting above. Also, I am excited, and maybe not a good news for people who follow me, that I'd be taking like a week off in towards this month and like around 30th June till like 6th 7th of July. Going for a week long trip would probably shut off every single thing. What we're going just to a trip to the north, few of the valleys, and I do really need it, man, because the last off I took from Discord and charts was last year in May. So it's been more like 13, 14 months every single day. Uh like 15, 20 hours a day in front of screen. So there is a point you just get exhausted, and especially been trading this market for the past 2, 3 months, it just like exhausts you fully. Moza going alone? I don't think so. I haven't asked him, but I'd assume he won't. Also, it's our like um lums alumni trip sort of thing, like university alumni's trip. Yeah, but it's just for 7 days. So probably I'd be leaving Sunday night and then would be back home like around the next week Sunday or by Monday morning. I didn't like my uniform. Nah, I think I had one of my best times throughout my LAM's 4 years. Live stream in the mountains. So where I am going, probably there won't be any network, which is kind of I like. Uh, so no network, no nothing, just everything phone and laptop and everything turned off for a week. That's one of the thing I really like about when you are going into mountains and into the nature. You get cut off from all these things because if I'm going to visit, I'm Dubai or some other cities or stuff, I'd still be stuck on to what's going around the world and stuff like that. So yeah, kind of super excited for that. I also like started going for small runs lately because I feel like, especially after gaining a lot of weight in a year and like sitting 20 hours a day on a chair, I've lost my stamina and everything. So if I have to cope up with others during the trek and stuff, I have to get up with my stamina and fitness. Man, but you don't really check if that. No, Uri, I disagree. Like for example, if you are in Dubai or Japan or any major city you are visiting, and let's say market starts crashing or like there's a volatile move in the market, wouldn't you check like continuously check your phone or check your, especially like in the place I am, right, where you are in a place where people are following you, you have your Twitter, you have your stuff, so no matter what happens, end up being sticking to the market somehow. Ah, yeah, Sol, my bad. Let's do that. Wow, Sol plan was pretty perfect that we discussed last stream, no? Right? This daily demand. Uh, Swept the wick close, daily demand retest, and almost bounced like 9%. Yeah, I think this is mm, maybe like one more sweep, something like this. But overall, I think Sol doesn't look bad for like at least a local bottom or some sort. I think this is what you could expect on Sol. Like either this is the bottom or you're like lucky and you get something like another sweep, like a three drive bottom, and then you get some sort of relief like this, take out the highs, and then it keeps on ranging for a while. Yes, HBJ, perfect for my spot buy. Were you the one on the last stream who asked about Saul's spot and something? Yeah, that's good. New coin on Binance? IO? Are you referring to IO? Yeah, what does it do? Is it like another meme coin? Wow. Why on earth is it so bullish, man? And w- w- did you like really have to mention it when it like gave a 8% break? Like if you had mentioned earlier, this could have been a good looking consolidation at listing highs that we could have tried maybe. It's like TIA 2.0. Okay. Is this what people are calling it? But that looks pretty good, man, for a new coin. Okay. Yeah, the initial price. No, no, I don't think so because TIA didn't do something like this on the listing. If my memory is correct, I think TIA did something like this, ranged for a few time, and then it started running. Let's look at TIA. Yeah, see, I was right. So after the listing, it actually like bleeded back down, ranged for a while, for quite a while, and then it started going. I think it looks similar to, I would say, Manta, if I'm not wrong. The listing we had on Manta, let me see. Yeah, yeah. Okay, why is this such a weird chart? Yeah, yeah, I'm right. It looks very similar to Manta. Like, look at this initial consolidation, and rallied higher. I'm usually not a fan of newer listings that like initially just starts going up because I think Dim also did pretty much similar, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. If you look at the spot chart, this is where Dim was listed with a long wick, and you know, similar to Manta and what IO are doing, started rallying right away. I think most of the what other examples we could have where the new listings started like rallying higher. Did ETHFi do same? I think I need to look at the spot chart. Hmm. Yeah. Because for me, most of them, the ones that rally just after the listing, they do top out sooner. Like, yeah, ETHFi did do like what? A 2x maybe? A bit more than 2x. But since then, most of them like top out for a very long time. Like the really bullish listings are the ones that like, after the listing just cools down, consolidate. All the VCs and big players invested, they just get out, eventually. And after a good range rounded bottom, that's where they start running. Mhm. Is it decentralized AI computing? And wow, another AI coin we have. And I'm assuming since it's AI, and is it Binance Launchpad or is it just a normal listing? But I would assume it has a pretty high market cap by now. I think it would be like a billion already, if I'm not wrong. Let's see. IO market cap. Ah, half a billion. 530 millions. That could be interesting. Binance launch pool. The last Binance launch pool we had was Pixel, no? If I'm not wrong. Did we have anything after Pixel? Let's see what Pixel did on its listing. Yeah, Pixel was a different story. Pixel was a bit more Ondo or TIA similar listing. The reason I say, because the strongest runs the new listing coins have given, have come from the ones that have like consolidated or gone into a downtrend after listing. TIE is a great example. Ondo is another good example. Where if you look at the initial listing price action, this is what Ondo did, right? Got listed, initial pump, and then for a good long time, it just ranged around, right? This is for me a bullish listing price action. The ones that just go initially, just start rallying up right after the listing, for me, those are like, um, just to me, feels like, VC backed and manipulated runs where they are just like finding exit liquidity and eventually like they dump on everyone and it tops out and stuff. No, I'm not talking about fundamentals, AOG. Like you'll find a lot of similar Ondo kind of listing price action. Like look at Ondo. Then TIA listing was pretty much similar. Mm-hmm. See, the common thing about these listing coins going insane is they not rallying in their initial listing phase, right? Like look at the initial phase on TIA, look the initial phase on Ondo, and then on the other hand, look at the initial phase on coins like Manta, Dem, ETHFi, right? All these on their listing started just like rallying right after the listing, right? And most of these just topped out after a while the ones that took their time to just consolidate, go into a horizontal phase, they were the one that ended up rallying pretty strong. No, but you can't say, OG, that TIA didn't like rally strong, right? It was a insane run. Like after getting listed around $2, going on to like $20. It was a 10x run, man. Like how could you say it as like yeah, now it's dying, but uh it was insane run on its own. So yeah, just to conclude all this discussion, uh listings that just start trending strong, um right after the listing, for me, those are not like really bullish listings. Yes, like on short term, they do look bullish, but they do top out sooner. Would anyone, can anyone think of a counter example to what I said? Of a list, like a new listing coin that rallied right after listing and ended up going way higher. Like I'm trying to think, but I can't. Good. Does SKI chart Pendle? Okay, that could be interesting. Let's see. Wasn't No, I think you are wrong with Pendle. I remember Pendle, and yeah, this is what Pendle listing was, man. How could you say it rallied on its listing? It actually proves my points, right? Uh, Proves my point that the ones that go into a downtrend or like horizontally consolidate, they are the ones that trend pretty strong later. Meme. Okay, let's. That could be a good example. Mm, but okay, you could say that it did pump at the listing, but did it go to a insane rally? No, it didn't, right? It went to like what? I'm talking about rallies, like multiple X's rallies, right? Like the one Pendle, Ondo, TIA, and all these listing did. I'm not talking about like 40-50% moves. Token? Okay. Again, Uji, you keep on proving my point, man. Like, look at the listing. These were the listing highs, never went above that. Spent almost like 2 months consolidating within the listing range, and that's where it rallied higher, right? You keep on giving me examples that prove my point further. So you can't argue with me that it depends on fundamental and stuff. This is actually a useful tool to like a useful um TA confluence to have on newer coins, right? The ones that go horizontal after the listing, they do tend to be eventually, like once they break out of their accumulations, they do tend to run strong. Okay, Oji, there's always a discussion, like a debate between TA versus FA, right? And I'm not getting into that debate. I'm just talking with past history that most of the coins that ran insane, yes, there definitely there would be some good fundamentals as well, but it can't be a coincidence, right? Coincidence happens once, twice, not with like every coin that newer coin that ran hard ended up accumulating in the start. GME. Okay, let's uh, take his last example to prove him wrong. And how on earth could you say that this was the listing that like ran higher or something? This doesn't get like come into both of the baskets we discussed, right? One scenario is where they just go insane, right? Just start pumping right after the listing, like IO or Manta or Dem or ETHFi. Or the second is where they list and then just range and accumulate for a while, right? LDO is neither of those two, right? It just died after the listing. And now let's come back to the other people, requests. Uh, GME chart. You're talking about the crypto GME, right? Yeah. Don't you think after the there are some scenarios where you don't even need to do much TA because after all this roaring kitty round tripping his billion almost $1 billion unrealized profit and stuff, do you really think there's much left to this name? Like this is literally the meme stock of the kitty roaring kitty GME shenanigans that went on, right? And you could pretty much assume with him round tripping everything and stuff that probably this narrative is over by now, no? Look at Hook. What do you want me to see about it? I can show you way more funny charts. Like, look at what High did. This is a hilarious chart, man. Insane. This reminds me of the wave chart, right? Like, if you people were there during the wave fun in the bear market, this is pretty much what happened with wave. We have to go like way before. Where was this? Okay, why isn't it showing? Ah, I forgot it got delisted. Where would I find the old wave chart? Yeah, probably I won't because yeah, this is kind of what happened with waves. But yeah, this is a funny chart, man. uh, Another thing, like this is happening with a lot of, and this is like jokes apart, a reminder for people who are like riding the shitcoin fun and maybe having some spot into them. Be careful of such things, right? Like I saw this thing happened on High like 2 3 days ago. Then I saw same thing happening with liver like yesterday, right? Look at this liver sell off. Showed a lot of strength. And if you people remember, I called out liver play for the group as well, right? Went up like 25% that day, and look at the sell off later. A lot of these shit coins are like showing strength on a day, giving good runs, and then after someone big dumps and causes like a 40 50% nuke on it. DWF lab coins. Yeah, like I could agree that they do tend to create such price action, but I'm not sure if DWF would be behind coins like Liver or High. You offset, how you doing, brother? Popcat and Mog. I think I'd probably try like this morning. Okay, I take my words back. Initially, I was looking at this as a potential bottom at the range lows. These listing bottom, l- what would you call this? The listing lows or something, whatever. But the way this 12 hour is looking right now, I'll wait for a bit more consolidation than being aggressive now. Because if it does not end up holding here, it could just puke way lower. So yeah, maybe a potential bottom, but I'd want it to like give a bit of more consolidation and strength and confirm some bottom triggers. Right now, this 12 hour doesn't look the best. Mhm. Didn't look at charts the past 4 days. Glad I didn't. Yeah, you kind of missed like five bull runs and bear markets happening within these 4 days. Hmm. Hi HBJ, just tuned in. Short term bearish or bullish on the market right now? I would say that since now I expect a good, just ranging price action for coming days and weeks, makes no sense to me saying that I am bullish or bearish, right? I like the only thing I would say is that I am actively looking for longs. Like I think once we sweep like into 66-ish, that's where I am looking for long soon. So if I have to give a bit more perspective on my thoughts on market, which is that this is a big major level that I don't want BTC to lose. So as long as we are above this, you could consider it as the new range lows and trying some longs, TP around here and just keep playing this range until proven otherwise. If we do end up losing this mid range, which is like 65.5, 66K, that's super bearish. That is where I would like openly and clearly be bearish on the market. Pepe, we did go over Pepe. We can go over that again. Res seems to be following by the as the coin that's pumping. Res. See, this is uh what I could call a bullish listing so far, right? Like I have no idea, what the fundamentals are. But if it keeps on consolidating and like the only thing you don't want it to do is bleed down, right? Like a lot of you don't want it to do something like, for example, what Tensor did or Saga did on its listing. No, I think this is way different than Saga Tensor because it was just a immediate bleed down. So yeah, coming back to the discussion, uh, I think for me the really safer approaches of playing them is let them consolidate for as long as they want to, and enter them once they start to break out of these accumulations, because once they do tend to run pretty strong, right? So for me, just let them be within this accumulation. They could take a very long time, but once they start breaking out, that's where you enter with a clear invalidation and let ride this run into price discovery. I think these are pretty clean setups on newer coins. Like for example, on Ondo, you just had to wait within this accumulation phase. And once it broke out, that's where you begin scaling in for a run. When's the next unlock on this, Hoji? On Res? Deviation below 0.5 and then send all time high. Which coin are we talking about? 0.5? Yeah. I could see, yeah. I could see that as a really good setup as well. That there is still a bit of mess that we didn't take out. So something like this, take out these lows. But then I personally wouldn't just like blindly long anything lower, right? What I would do is if market goes lower, okay, that's good. Now we just wait. And as soon as you start to see this, that's your trigger to start scaling into some really good size longs or spot or whatever you prefer. So yeah, I think that's a good likely outcome, where we lose this level, trap people bearish, and then you wait for reclaim and enter some really good positions. Yeah, to be honest, I would love this to happen, because the more we are, constantly retesting this mid range, with such weird rejections, more I'm like, less confident on keep on trying the same levels again and again, right? So what I would love is for a quick shake down below, flip everyone, bearish and stuff, and this is where you go gig along on the market with some really strong conviction. If this is something that market gives, that's your best bet to bet towards like at least 71, 72. I hope we do get that, to be honest. I'd love this plan. 11 months till any unlock, that's bullish, to be honest. Like on a newer coin that has no unlocks for a year almost, that's usually good. We have a very clean area of interest there, HPJ. Where? Like a lower? Yeah, I could see like maybe this 4-hour imbalance getting tapped or some sort of thing. So what I could see is a move down lower. Uh-huh. Tap like 63.7-ish, something. Go back up, maybe. I don't know. Let's see. That's nice. Have a good time, OG. How's Zeg looking? Isn't Zeg like one of those stable coins that people ask on the stream and every time is just at the same level? Okay. Seems like it stopped being a stable coin and new 22%. That's insane. Hmm. Could be good. Uh, because you could consider it as a second deviation, right? But to confirm that, I'd really want first a 12-hour close above 0.092. If we get this 12-hour close above, I think that's a really good bet to try, at least towards like range highs or something, right? And that would still be, I think, a 20% move to catch and then maybe even higher. But like it could be a potential bottom, but for me to confirm this bottom, I need a 12-hour close above 92. Yeah, I could see that. But also I could agree with you. Yeah, to be honest, like yeah, I do like your plan of this imbalance below this daily demand. Like fill in a little, and to be honest, I'd personally not bet this like blindly, because if we are going here, I'd be comfortable just waiting for the reclaim above of mid range and then just go full in on the market. Because the issue with bidding here is that if you're bidding here or like bidding within this imbalance, invalidation has to be really wide, right? Because if you're, let's say, long here, then you have to have your invalidation below like range lows at least, right? Because you can't have it here. Then you are having your invalidation like right at the daily demand where it could just take out your stops and bounce back up, right? you have to let go this entire daily demand and then have to have your invalidation like below range lows, right? So risk to return wise, it doesn't seem to me like really worth it. So instead of a better entry, I'd wait for better conviction, which is like fill in this imbalance, reclaim back. Then my invalidation could be way tighter than what we discussed earlier, right? Because then I could place my invalidation below the recent deviation and then just ride the move up. Yeah, if you're like a lower time frame scalper and have some sort of divergence system and stuff like that, then yeah, probably that's a good level to be trying. I came to say hold WG on a Pawn Star Spaces on Twitter for real. Whom did you see? Mind. I don't think it's a Pawn Star Space. I think I've seen them being in like some meme coin related spaces. It's a Pawn Star meme coin for real. What's the ticker? Which coin are you talking about? Ass? That's funny, man. No, no, I'm not interested in any way, but yeah. How could I be naughty by being interested in a like upon some meme coin, right? Like if I'd ask OG about what pawn star it is, right? What's her name? What's her ID? That's what makes me naughty, right? How could me asking about the coin makes me naughty? Like, what do you think about me, man? Wasn't there a kid like few weeks back who apparently brought his mom on live stream to his alleged mom, like we don't even know if it was his mom or not, to just flash, and every time she flashed, people just donated more money, put more money into the coin, and they were just pumping the coin that way. Solana shitcoin segment of the market is the most, like most racist, most weird, and what like whatever bad things you could expect in a society, everything happens on Solana shitcoin segment of the market. Han, how could you say that memes are those are not the memes we talk about, right? Memes are the good community memes we have, right? Like Pepe, Whiff, Bonk. Um, Last cycle we had Dodge, Shib. They aren't bringing any racist or any sexual or any sort of weird norms into the crypto. They are just actually attracting retail back, right? Like for real, the reason I got into crypto was hearing my friends talk about Dodge and Shib in those early hype days, right? And this is what actually bring retail to the market, these meme coins, right? uh the people outside crypto is not interested in your coin's fundamental and what good your project is doing, right? They just hear a good meme coin and they are okay, let's get into crypto and buy that meme coin hype. No, again, I'm not talking about these ass coins, right? I'm talking about legit meme coin communities that create the hype, attract retail, and I think most of the good part of the market we have seen in this bull market have been led by meme runs, right? October, November, we had Bonk. Earlier we had WIF, then we had Pepe, then we had the cat coins, right? So most of the times we have trending and good alts price action. Most of them have been led by meme runs, and one of the reason is that those meme runs do attract a lot of retail money. A lot of people consider them bad, as if like they are like sucking money out of their coins. It's not the case. I think memes are the reason you get like new additional flow of capital into crypto. Like those people wouldn't have even touched your other good fundamental coins if it wasn't for the meme coins. People come here to buy frog coins, buy dog coins, buy bonk, whiff, dog with the hat. You haven't been smoking. No, like I haven't quit, but I would say using it a bit less than I used to. Yep, I got because of dog and Elon. Yeah, see, a lot of retail gets attracted by these meme coins. Again, not talking about ass or some weird racist stuff. Pepe as ETH. Yeah, I agree. I think ever since OG mentioned this, every single person of you are either on that space right now or just stalking this porn star. Big AI merger FET to ASI. Yeah, Wali, that's like you know old news from 3 months ago. FET Ocean Ajax getting merged. Thoughts on Foxy? Okay, the meme coin. Wow, why is it getting rugged? Doesn't look good. Yeah, I won't touch it. Ever since it's bleeding the way it is below the previous highs, yeah, I won't touch this unless somehow it ends up reclaiming back. That could be a trigger, but until then, it looks pretty bad. Don't you think Offset you have like better meme coins in the market to play? Like the most of the bullish meme coins after the initial listing, once they do break out of these listing accumulation highs, they do tend to run strong, right? But if there is something that tried to break above and ended up bleeding back down, probably you can't expect much happening in coming time. HBJ said, What should we do with underwater long term spot? Feeling like I can exit now, play the ranges, and eventually get in later down the road. Khan, the point is that uh, hmm, the point is that again, man, long term is long term. You don't micromanage them. Most of the time, when you try to micromanage your long term or higher time frame plays, it doesn't play that well, right? The reason I say that is okay. Let's say you are right. Let's say we don't break all time highs. We continue ranging a bit more bleeds on alts and stuff, and then imagine after a week or two, there is some good catalyst in the market, and we just instantly run into all time highs. And we have seen that a lot of time happening in the past, right? And you don't get enough time to be scaling back into the bags you sold. What happens then, right? The point is that you don't micromanage your long term bias, right? It's underwater, it's in profits, whatever it is in the end, it's just your long term bags. Man, today was such a shit. Yeah, I could like relate to that. Because I personally stayed flat throughout the day. But if I was long, I could have round trip too. So yeah, I could relate with that. Short term to mid term, I have personally, right? I can't advise other people on their investment. I personally have. And I'd be happy to buy back if we get back above like 3650 ETH and 69K BTC. But as long as we are trading below these two levels, I am out of my short term spot for now. Because in short term plays, entries don't matter, right? Because in a short term plays, all you are looking is to catch a good 50-70% run on the coin, right? You can do that and do that at any stage once you get the confirmations. But on long term plays, your entries do kind of matter in the end. So maybe you sell here and eventually, market doesn't give you enough time to position later. Okay, I guess this would be it from my side. Pretty much discussed market. I am just taking things slow. Again, not being bearish here. I am actively looking for a long opportunity. Now, what I am looking at is, let me do it a bit more cleaner. So all you need is these three levels on your chart, right? This entire big macro range we have been in for almost 3 months now. So this is the mid range, right? That and as long as we are above, it is bullish, right? No matter whatever is happening within this, you have to be aware of the fact that we are still consolidating, ranging above the mid range. Now the question comes on how do you position? How do you position for? And okay, to correct what I said, you have to be bullish, and by bullish I mean not shorting at least and not being really bearish at these lows, right? But also be mindful of a fact that we might just keep on doing this for a while so that you don't end up round tripping your gains from the lows you got, right? Expecting all time high break while it just keeps on doing this. So be bullish, but also keep in mind a range play probably, unless we break above 69 with a good high time frame acceptance triggers. So coming back to the point, the long triggers I am looking for is it's either a push into yesterday lows, maybe a sweep a bit higher, and look for longs. But a really convincing and a setup where I could go with really good size is, and I'm hoping we get that, is a push down into the sweep and into the imbalanced tap, reclaim above, and that's where you could go in with really strong size, because not only it would be a mid-range deviation and reclaim, but it would also be like this 1 month almost range that we are in. And we haven't gotten any major sweep or deviation below this range, right? So getting a deviation and reclaim would be super bullish to bet with good size. So this would be my most favorable situation to scale in some good size upside exposure. If not, obviously looking for some longs around yesterday lows, but based on the reaction. So let's see. Uh, just taking things slow lately, ever since yesterday breakdown. So let's see how things move on. That's it from my side. Hope you will had a good time. Talk to people soon. Take care. See you people soon. Allah Hafiz.